Yeah. I guess that's about all the stalling I can do. It's probably time to started. Although I do like it back here, though. This is way more informal, so I can deal with this a little bit more. All right. So on Sunday evening, Brother Jim was kind of throwing it out there that somebody needed to come up with a devotional. I volunteered myself, I suppose, in a there are no other choices kind of scenario. This is not my comfort zone whatsoever. Being relatively new to the faith, I didn't even know what a devotional was up until a couple of years ago. I remember at one point, Jacob had asked if I did a devotional for men's breakfast. I said I could probably do one if I knew what that was and I seen one done first. So Brother Jerry had done that devotional for a men's breakfast at one point. That was it. I didn't know about it. I've, knowing now, okay, it makes sense. It's just something that kind of speaks to you, and then we just take 10 or 15 minutes and kind of talk about it as a group. So knowing that, I kind of struggled with what topic that I want to land on, right? There's, my default was kind of just go through, my testimony of salvation and all that. That might have been edifying to some, I'm not sure, but I wasn't quite sure where to land, so this was really yesterday evening. I kind of went with one, and it's really around something I'm actually dealing with and have been for a little while now. Nothing overly serious, but it's just uncertainty in the path that I'm on, the path that I'm going to continue on. Nothing in the faith or anything, just general uncertainty in life and where things are. It's kind of new to me to be uncertain. I'm usually a very certain person, make a decision, go with it, live with the consequences. That's just kind of how I've always been in my life. It's kind of a challenge to not really know what the right decision ought to be. I'm kind of a planner by nature. I like to have a plan and then a contingency plan and then a tertiary plan. It's just kind of how I am. So when I run up a spot where I just don't know what to do, it's just it's kind of new to me. So the way I kind of look at it is obviously I'm generalizing pretty heavily here, but three kind of legs to a stool in life, right? At least as a saved person. So I have kind of the big bucket, which is the Lord. That's the church I encompass in that. My daily studies, my prayer life, everything connected to Scripture and the Lord is kind of one big bucket. The other would be my family, my marriage, all that there. And then the third one is just kind of life in general. So jobs and people that I have to deal with, where you live, kind of just all those kind of things. To me, I kind of put in like the third kind of category. And spoiler alert, the one I'm struggling with is the third one. So as of right now, I feel very confident and strong in my relationship with the Lord. Joanne is still tolerating me, so that's a good thing. I told her if she divorces me, God's going to be very angry. But big things. There's obviously much larger issues to deal with in people's lives, and we're very fortunate that we're all healthy and sound and are in positions where we actually have choices and can do things. There's a lot of people in this world who cannot and are forced into situations. And again, we're very fortunate and blessed that we are not in that case. So it's a little silly, maybe a little shallow-ish to kind of have some of these struggles. But nonetheless, it's kind of what I'm dealing with throughout the day. Kind of what ran into this was, so I actually have a job interview tomorrow for another job, which this one kind of came out of the blue. It's a good opportunity, but not getting sidetracked on all that. It's if this job goes through and I accept it, this would be the third job, the third company that I work for just this year alone, right? So I started out at a company earlier this year, I've been at another company for another few months. This one will make the third one. Prior to that, there was 2 more over the last 2 years, and then prior to that was 14 years at a company. So and then that's not my nature. I'm very structured, I'm very rigid to a degree. I moved to St. Louis in 2009, and I lived in the same place for 10 years. And then I moved in with Joanne, and we've been there for, 7, 8 years, something like that. So I'm very much the same thing. Let's get a routine, let's stick with it, that's how I am by nature. So this is a little new to me, and it's not I've certainly never been fired from any of these jobs. In fact, I've gotten more opportunities than I could probably actually remember at this point. I mean, at every place I've been at, I've been either promoted already or moved to another area within just a short time there. Even this place now, so I mean, I was there for a month, and essentially I'm the plant manager, acting plant manager at this place for the last month and a half. But so it's not for lack of opportunity. It's really just truly lack of feeling like I belong kind of anywhere. Part of this may be, I try to be somewhat reflective in life and objective when I can be, but I got saved 2020, so relatively late in life, and I think it was either 2023 or 2024 when I left the company for 14 years, and then again I kind of bounced around to a few other places other than that, and it's I think a lot of it may just be now trying to adapt to salvation, the new life, right? The old Travis is dead. This is the new Travis. He doesn't feel really good anywhere, I kind of equate it to if you ever walk into a party or a meeting or just some place and you just instantly feel like, oh no, I don't belong here and I got to get out here as soon as I can. That's me in most places, to be frank, which isn't anything new because I was already a borderline hermit for most of my life. But this is certainly just trying to feel like that place of belonging. I don't think I'll ever feel into a place where, oh, I'm very comfortable to be here. This is where I'm meant to be. I don't think that's the case at all. But it's just this uncertainty. And I don't mean uncertainty as in like going against the Lord's will. I feel like he's opening doors for me that every place I've been, I've gotten way more confident there. At first, I was successful at this place for 14 years. I got a ton of opportunities and positions, and part of it was on me to just say, is that just because I know the company and the product, so I get a lot of opportunities? What if I started over somewhere new? Would I get these same opportunities? And to be frank, I've learned a ton of skills. I've proven to myself. So it's, and I think that each one opens a door. But I have felt, again, just a certain non-belonging kind of anywhere. And again, I am not talking about like happiness. So happiness is a completely other thing. I don't think happiness is even a real thing, right? Throughout the day, we can all be happy and not happy. Happiness is very fickle, it's very fragile. I'm not talking about happiness, but I do want to say that as uncertain as I am on the directions that we're going from time to time, it's not panic or fear or scaredness. I'm very calm, I'm very joyful, and it's because I know whatever happens, it's going to be okay. We're good. I'm not fearful of the future. I'm not scared of the opportunities. I'm not worried about getting kicked out or on the streets or anything like that. It's just very like, okay, I don't belong here. Let's try this other kind of place. I don't feel like I'm getting pushed out of anywhere or I'm, fighting God's will in any kind of way. it's just again, just uncertainty, not feeling at home. So when I went to go scripture, I think a lot of times when we're dealing with something, we look to the Psalms. So I went with Psalm 46. And I did not know that this psalm was as popular as it was when I picked this, but turns out it's a pretty well-known psalm. So Psalm 46, to the chief musician for the sons of Korah, a song upon Alamoth. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake and the swelling thereof. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. The heathen raged, the kingdoms moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. So I picked that one. I felt that one was very fitting. Again, it's so most people know this. My family doesn't live up here. You know, Joanne doesn't have any family up here. We've only ever been to St. Louis just for work, essentially, right? So then we've talked about moving away for years. You know, if neither one of us are overly crazy about our jobs, right? Is there anything keeping us here? Not really, you know, but then okay, so then where do you go from here? There's no real wrong answer, right? There's literally a million places we could go. Any one place is similar to another. There's no, you know, there's jobs you shouldn't have as a Christian, but there's no real calling or job that you should have for the most part, as far as just secular vocation goes. So there's no real wrong answer, and it's just we're thinking, right? There's I don't want to leave Brookside right now. It's you know, obviously we're still searching for a pastor, and we got some of our own challenges, so I don't want to leave here. At the same time, with that is all I'm doing is, to be frank, making my resume worse by bouncing around. No matter what the job says, you know, if you're only on there for a year or something, that doesn't look good. So if I also, there's some repairs and stuff around the house that I don't necessarily want to make because it's not the home I want to be in for a long time. So we don't have, you know, there's just things back and forth, right? I mean, I love Brookside. I've certainly had, you know, periods in the past where I haven't been the best member here, right? I've been disgruntled at times, and I haven't quite given what I should have. But I feel like that's it's going pretty well now. Again, when it comes to any kind of job or work, there's nothing dictating one way or another. I think that Joanne and I are very confident things would work out, right? I mean, I have other income streams. We have skills and abilities. I think as long as we remain healthy and stuff, that we would land on our feet, kind of whatever we did. When it comes to, again, just anything, there's a bunch of options in front of us right now, and I'm struggling with choosing the one, right? So, I mean, constantly praying, constantly seeking the path that I feel like he would have us to be on, with timing, which is, but it's one of the things. So I don't know how many people know this, and I don't really push it very hard, but we started an LLC late last year. Joanne and I did, and it's a welding business. So I call it Pilgrim Weld Shop, and I didn't think about it at the time, but a pilgrim, right, is somebody who is not at home in this world. I think that last song that Brother Brian just chose, talked about being a pilgrim, and it talked about leaning on the everlasting arms. I think that was very fitting for tonight, because that's what I feel. I don't feel like I'll ever really belong anywhere. That's just kind of part of it, part of the walk that we're on right now, right? We're supposed to be in this world, not of this world, and it's just part of the challenges. So part of that is just me kind of settling down and maybe realizing this on its own. But again, there's no real right answer, wrong answer. Well, there's certainly some wrong answers. You could definitely do wrong answers. But right answers, those are many and in abundance to kind of where we could kind of be. So again, kind of why I think this psalm was fitting. So it starts out to the chief musician. Again, this is Psalm 46. So we know that this is written to the musicians, meant to be sung by the sons of Korah, and it says a song upon Alamoth. And when I went to look that up, that's it says Alamoth derives from Alma, the Hebrew word for virgin. So it's thought that these were some young women, perhaps like soprano singers. So this psalm was obviously meant to be sung, but in particular sung, by young women with soprano voices. And then it's, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Obviously that one of the things I pray for daily is that I'm grateful to have the Lord, right? It wasn't that long ago that I thought religion was for weak people who couldn't make it on their own without having a crutch. And I actually think that I was probably right at that point, because I don't know how people make it through here without having the Lord, without having Him near, knowing that you can go to Him for anything. I would certainly struggle in this life much more without Him being there, without just knowing that whatever happens, everything will be all right. And then 2 and 3, therefore we will not fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake and the swelling thereof. Selah. And of course I paused, and the Selah, is typically understood to mean like a reflective kind of pause. But I just like the way that's worded. I mean, just literally anything could happen. It doesn't matter. It's one thing that Joanne and I talk about, like literally anything could happen. As long as we're together, we're gonna have everything. Like, yeah, it would be miserable, things would go bad, but no matter what happens here, it'll eventually be all right. And that's it. You can get through a lot when you have that on the other side, right? As Paul calls it, we have that blessed hope. 4 and 5, there is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. So that just continues to remind me that I'm a pilgrim, that this is not where I'm meant to be, that there's a city that is meant for me. That's where I'll find my home. That's where I'll find the place where it's not going to make my skin crawl when you walk through the door, right? That's where I'll find my belonging, that this world is going to crumble and break away, but there is a place where I will be. All right, verse 6, the heathen raged, it's the nations. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. That's actually pretty impressive, right? That the nations go at it, right? Kingdoms rise and fall and crumble and fight each other. But he, as in the Lord, uttered his voice, and the earth melted. So no matter what the nations do to each other, kingdoms rising, kingdoms falling, conquering, death and destruction, all he does is utter a word and the entire earth melts. Right? That's pretty impressive. All right. Verse 7, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. So I take comfort in the fact that Jacob wasn't always a great guy, and neither was I. So if he can be a God of Jacob, he can be a God of me also. And he's our refuge. He's the one we should lean on. And this is kind of like the chorus that kind of goes through it. 8 and 9, come, behold the works of the Lord, the desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burned the chariots in fire. So that's I want to be on that guy's side, right? The kingdoms can do whatever you want, but the guy who can do this right here, like that's who I want to be teamed up with. Verse 10, be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. So here it switches up, and this is the Lord himself speaking, right? Before that it was everybody talking about the Lord, and then here the Lord speaks. And his first word is be still, and that could be like kind of shut up, take it easy. Could be kind of calm yourself down, but essentially it's be still. Don't worry about it. There's a lot going on. There's always going to be a lot going on. You're not going to get away from a lot going on, but be still and know that he is God, that he's got it. And again, all he has to do is speak and the earth will melt. And then in verse 11, the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. And again, the Lord of hosts, so the Lord of armies, the Lord who commands armies, the God of Jacob, that's the one that you read about all in the Old Testament with all of his miracles and all his mighty works. That's the one. That same God is with us. And I take comfort in all that. So I've written it down here, but in summary, yes, I am uncertain about a lot of things in this world. I am not overly afraid of things in this world, but I want to lead my family. I want to care for them as best I can. Obviously that's a burden that you voluntarily take on, right? But I want to do all that I can. I don't get really overwhelmed by much or anxious by much, except maybe devotionals on a Wednesday night. But having it where, again, we're always going to be uncertain. And this psalm, again, just kind of reminds me that I'm a pilgrim. That's what we're called about, pilgrims, sojourners in this world. That's all throughout Scripture. So when it comes to a job, my job is to be an ambassador for Christ. My job is to do all things in accordance with his will, and my job is to attempt to save those who are lost in this dying world. My place, my home, is not laid out, but my place is to be with the brethren. My actual home is not of this world. I'm a citizen of heaven, and I am all throughout Scripture called a pilgrim and a sojourner while this world groans with its corruptions. That's certainly what I know. I don't know a lot about how things are going to work out, but I definitely know that wherever I go, that's what it's going to be. That's my job. That's my home. So I like to do things a little bit unorthodox. So we all still have our blue books. So I think if we, you can go kill that stream deer. But I think we can sing another hymn before we get out of here. And I went through many of them, but the one that I landed on is hymn 78 in the blue book.